It's Friday again, and that means it's time for another track chat.
This Friday, we're going to talk about the gap of 20 years between metal music. So, 2000
and 2020. 2019. What's going on? I'm Tyler.
And I'm Travis.
This is
Twisted Transcription Studios.
Like we said, we made a list. 5 albums from 2000 and 5 albums from 2019, 2020, because it's only like January, so.
Right. And in this video, you're going to see us get mad.
Not to begin with, because we're starting off with 2000, back when music was good. I have to say, before we start this off, the mixing is a hell of a lot better now than it was in 2000. Like, if I could just take these old songs and remaster them, remix them.
Well, that's the thing. In some ways, it's very, very good now, but it's also so filled with automated
shit
that it makes me want to, like, jump out a window.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll get there when we get to 2020.
So we're going to travel back to 2000, and we're kicking this thing off with one of my favorite bands, Pantera, reinventing steel.
Right. I mean, Pantera is the Southern metal band. It's, I mean...
A lot of people say that Lamb of God is the new Pantera, or the Pantera of the 2000s, I should say.
Right. It's. I mean, Dimebag wrote riffs that were so iconic, and I mean, that I feel like that is their sound. Like, if you think about Pantera, you think about Dime. Period. I mean, he wrote the riffs that made that Southern metal sound.
Yeah, he definitely had given the sound. But some of my favorites on that album, Yesterday Don't Mean Shit, Revolution Is My Name, and I'll Cast a Shadow. All three of those were really, they just stand out. I still listen to them.
Top-notch songs. I mean, absolutely top-notch.
Moving on to
Black Label Society.
Yep.
It's Stranger Than Death. And this is one of the ones that, from 2000 to 2020, they sound exactly the same.
And I applaud them for that.
Absolutely.
Nothing wrong with changing a little bit.
Yeah.
Every band's done it.
We're changing with the times. I mean,
yeah.
They're playing the same music that they were in 2000, but they're playing it with higher quality technology.
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds better.
It's still got their original sound, but it could still mesh with today's music.
Exactly.
But a couple on that one was Rust and Just Killing Time. Not a lot of standouts on that one, but those two were some of my favorites.
They were good, yeah.
Switching over to some new metal, we're going to kick it off with Godsmack, Awake. I've had songs like...
Great album.
Yeah. I mean, I was telling him when we were writing them, I was like, man, I could listen to that whole album like right now. It's got songs like Trippin', Awake, and Greed.
Right.
Several others, but those are just...
That was the thing. Like, 2000 hit, and then, bam, new metal happened. It's here, it's in your face. It doesn't have the crazy solos from metal from the past.
They got that steady beat that you can just jump around to and just headbang real good to. They're real groovy.
Yeah, real groovy beats. I mean, it was amazing how it just popped up out of nowhere, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally like 1998, and we're in the grunge phase, and metal's there, but it's really thrashy. And then 2000s hit, and it's on the radio.
You got people like Godsmack and Korn. That was another one. Issues.
Yeah.
Name some of them off.
Yeah. Korn, Falling Away From Me, Make Me Bad, and Somebody, Someone. I mean, Falling Away From Me was like, it played on the radio for, I feel like, years.
Falling away from me.
I mean, I feel like it did play on the radio.
It still plays, man.
And, I mean, I guess that's the sign of a great song, but that was new metal. I mean...
Well, we looked it up a while ago. They recorded it in June and July, and released it in November. Like, that's crazy.
That's an unreal turnaround time on mixing.
With good quality, too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like, props to them.
Right.
They're still killing it.
The new metal was a good phase, and some people talk about it. Some people were like, well, new metal wasn't really metal. But it's metal.
Like a hard
Everybody's got a genre of metal they like the best. Some of y'all creeps like black metal. I mean...
But we enjoy new metal, groove metal, and cool stuff that we can headbang to.
Exactly. So Tyler, what do we got next?
The final album that we picked from 2000, one of our favorites, Lamb of God, New American Gospel.
Yeah, I mean, it was just such a raw recording.
It had songs like Pariah, Terror and Hubris, and The House of Whoever,
Black Label.
Black Label. Everybody knows Black Label. YouTube it now, type in Wall of Death. I'm sure it will come up because
Yep.
it just.
It was. I mean, it was a great era for Lamb of God. The recording quality was very subpar,
God, it was not good.
and
I don't think they hit a good recording quality until 2004
Yeah.
with Ashes.
Ashes, yeah. But it was. I mean, the groove and the pure metal of that album. I mean, even though the recording quality was kind of trash, it was just
His vocals weren't there, but
Yeah.
just the raw talent, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
I mean,
it was good.
even though it was so raw, it was just like, man, this is kick ass.
Here we are 20 years later, and they're about to release a new one without Chris. And I'm not getting on that because I'm pissed. Anyway, moving on to 2020.
We'll need that in a minute. So to segue into the 2020s, we're going to talk about a band that had a song in 2000s in the area, like 2006. Google just told me. It's Bring Me the Horizon. They had a song called Pray for Plagues. Very popular metalcore song back then. Super, super, super heavy. Screams that you couldn't understand. One of the most iconic breakdowns of the time. That
Yeah, that was tight.
and now they have
Ammo? I don't know. It's not ammo because no
Ammo.
guns. Yeah, they got Mantra. What the hell is that? A Wonderful Life. I mean,
and they've also got heavy metal.
it sounds like
A dance hall. I mean, you're at a dance hall listening to a song called Heavy Metal from a band that used to play metal. What is this world we live in? I almost feel like they're trying to make the Billboard Top 20 or something with songs like A Wonderful Life. I mean, it is so infused with pop. It don't even belong on our local, our old local
take it off
rock
Octane,
station.
man. Like,
Yeah.
take that shit off.
It doesn't
Octane.
belong. It doesn't belong. It makes me sick.
And I like their Sepulturnals or whatever it was called.
Yeah, the song Shadow Moses and stuff on
Yeah,
it.
I like that album.
Yeah, that was a
Most
pretty good
of it.
album. They were starting to get a little bit kind of that electronic kind of stuff going on, but it was just enough of a
It
taste
had
that
enough
it was
heavy
good.
in it that it was still good. Like, what's it called? But it was called Can You Feel My Heart. That was good. I had to just look it up or whatever. It was good.
Yeah,
Still a little poppy, but I dug it.
I really just
listened to
don't
it
know what
2014.
happened. I don't know what happened to them. Just in the past, 7 years, it all of a sudden was just like, we're going pop.
Well, one of my favorite bands decided to follow them, Wage War. We've talked about them before. Go check that out if you want to hear us talk about them for 10 minutes.
Right.
Anyway, we're about to talk a little bit more.
2015 happened, and they came out with one of the most brutal albums of the decade, and then they their pants.
They did have one really good one up here, Low. It was their only saving grace on that whole album. I mean, like, I bought it and listened to it and deleted like 5 songs off of it. But anyway,
I didn't even buy it. I just listened to it on Spotify. I was like, nope.
they had Grave, which they play the out of, and it is garbage.
Garbage.
And then they got this one song that features Taylor Swift called Me Against Myself.
I mean, literally, they just
I mean,
stole
she must
that
have
riff.
wrote it for
Yeah,
them.
she
I don't
probably
know.
did. She writes rapper songs. I mean, she can write a song for them.
Oh man, if you somehow by chance see this Wage War, what the hell, man? Like,
Yeah.
really?
But don't get us wrong. You're a dope man, and you got some great talent. And your 2015 album was amazing. But I hate this new one. Now, we're going to talk about a band that wrote a song in the past called People Equal Shit. And their newest album came out.
It is it's called We Are Not Your Kind. It did have
A couple.
2 decent ones. Unsainted, they played the crap out of it though. And then the Nero Forte or whatever, Fortra, whatever, it's pretty good, but they're playing it. I hear it 3 times a day, and I'm just like, dude.
And I
The
mean,
rest of them,
people hate on you because you're like, oh, well, you don't like the mainstream metal bands, so you're just a hipster, a metal hipster. You only like the underground bands. But the mainstream,
I don't even like the underground like from the 2000s.
the mainstream metal bands have not, I won't say Slipknot sold out because they still sound like the same band.
Yeah, they still got their same sound, but it's just
It's different. It's not that brutal rawness that they had back then.
they have their old sound, but it's more like their last album. Like, it's just
Well,
the whole time. I mean,
it's not
no
the thing.
offense. And just for y'all saying, oh, well, why aren't you on the radio? Well, we didn't get lucky, I don't reckon, but whatever. This is us talking. Deal with it.
Yeah, plenty of y'all on YouTube, so here we are doing
Yeah,
it
leave
too.
a comment if you're butthurt about it.
It's good for the YouTube algorithm.
Alright, enough of the hating. We're going to give some bands some praise. They actually deserve it.
Right.
Not talking to you, Bring Me the Horizon.
There has been a few bands, and there are more than just the two we're going to mention here, that have made great metal music in 2019, 2020. But the first one we're going to talk about is Upon a Burning Body. They came out with the album Southern Hostility, which is a great play on words from Southern Hospitality. I mean, that's just great. And they had songs like All Pride No Pain and The Champ Is Coming on that album, and they are sick. I mean, they're from, I think, Texas.
Yeah, they're Texas. They do some tributes to Pantera, actually. I don't know which song it might be.
That was
All
actually
Pride or their old album.
Well, there was actually 2012, the album that they did the Pantera callback. But, I mean, they know their roots, and they're still playing to them. You can get that newer metal feel out of them, but you still have that beautiful old rawness.
Got that southern sound. I love it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good album. I've just recently started listening to them, so I don't know much about them. I know like 3 or 4 songs. They're pretty good in my opinion.
Right.
But moving on to another great band that released a great album last year called Evergreen by After the Burial. We've mentioned them before. Haven't really done a full track chat on them. We should do that.
Yeah, we should probably do that.
They've made
A couple
several
of great
albums that are just like I could listen all the way through and just
Yeah, they showed up on the scene in the mid-2010s.
yeah.
And
12, 13.
with their EP, Wolf Amongst Ravens, excellent songs on that one.
I think that was their EP, was it? I don't know. We're not fact checking it.
And then the album that had Lost in the Static and Collapse and all that on it happened.
Deep.
And it was, yeah, there you go. And it was brutal as hell. And
This
now,
one.
19, Evergreen. I almost feel like they had some, like, gent going on when they were writing this one, because it had some sick, like, offbeats and some, like, weird time signatures.
To name a few, Influx, to challenge existence, and my favorite, Behold the Crown. Whip, 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 whip.
I mean, they're great songwriters, and it is absolutely brutal, the kind of stuff that they're putting out, which is the kind of same thing that I thought about Wage War when they first came out, and now they're making pop music. But After the Burial came out around the same time, and they're still making metal. So what's that tell you, Wage War? Don't hate us.
Now that we're done hating and praising these guys, we're gonna actually talk about their music.
Get into the specifics a little bit. I mean, really, when you break it down and look at it objectively, from 2000, when you have songs like Black Label and the New American Gospel album, where it is very raw and the mixing.
Sounds like a demo, man.
Yeah,
like
the mixing isn't amazing, but you can still hear that full metal sound out of it. I mean, you know that is metal. But then you listen to a metal band like Bring Me the Horizon in 2020 or 19, and you get songs like Heavy Metal, and it's an electronic song. I mean, most of it is created on synth pads or triggered or sampled in. I mean, and that to me is not making metal anymore. I mean,
I have no words. It's just
very
disappointing.
It's very disappointment. It's not making metal anymore to me, because there's not 3, 4, 5 guys in a room writing a song and recording that bad boy and putting it out there for the world. Now it's a few guys in a band, 3, 4, 5 guys in a band.
It's like,
and then the mix engineer sitting behind the computer and spending 4 or 5 months on it, and he should be featured on the track because he wrote it more than they did.
I think they just take something from these pop artists and the lighter music that's real popular that you hear on every station, and they're just like, we can do that.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Because I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of people that are into metal, a lot of metalheads, appreciate a lot of different types of music.
Yeah.
Because in order to appreciate something pretty effing technical like we're listening to, you have to appreciate a lot of different genres. And don't get me wrong, I've listened to some pop music and stuff like that of late. I mean, my wife loves it and it's catchy. I get it, but
I like some of it.
It shouldn't be in my metal.
Nah.
It's a bandwagon. It's you riding on a coattail to make some money.
It's like mixing rap and country. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Like,
get out of here, bro, country.
Nelly and Tim McGraw did it, and that was okay. And then everybody was like, Yeah!
Yeah, that's bro country happened. That's what's happening now. It's called, what do we call it? Poddle? Popple?
Yeah, popple.
Mop? We can call it mop.
That's metal pop, just in case you didn't get that one.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't happen. It's one of those things that shouldn't mix, like oil and water. Don't put it together.
It wouldn't matter, they wouldn't mix anyway. That pretty much wraps this up. Sorry if we offended you, not really, I don't care. Leave a comment if you don't approve, or if you think this was funny, or we agree with us. Whatever.
Right, because we're really, at the end of the day, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
Everybody's out making music, and everybody can appreciate each other's music. Don't get me wrong, Bringing the Rise is making a bunch of money. It's just not for me, and it's not metal.
Yeah, don't claim to be something that you're not.
Exactly.
That's my thing.
So make sure you like, you subscribe, and you smash that bell.
Leave us a comment and find us on social media at Twisted Transcription, and we will see you next time. It's Friday again, and here we go with another track. Nah,
Track trap.
not to begin with. We're going to talk about some good music from 2020. No, 20.
No!
3, 2, 1.
No! I said it wrong!
Steady. That sound like All American Reject. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say it just had that steady. I didn't do the beat though.
Headbang too. I know.
I just said had that
They
steady.
know what the f***ing beat is.
I just instantly pictured like,
guy.
oh, the final hour. Okay, what do we want to start off with? Do we want to start off with or less?